Sicilian is simply remarkable. Let's take a look at the ladies.
And by the way, how does this think he got moved?
Yeah, right. I mean,
at move 3.
He got stunned, like every one of us here on the panel. He got stunned as well. So there you have it. I wanted to start with our tournament co-leaders. Oh, not at all. We didn't get an open Sicilian. After the move e7, e6, Hans decided, well, I'm going to lap in this c2, c3. Idea is very simple. You want to set up the classical central pawn duo with the move d4. Traditionally, knight f6, d5 are the two weapons that black has to prevent white. And now, how would you like to play a French defense?
But isn't it somewhat unexpected from Hans not to open up position
with
in the Sicilian?
Yeah, I would have said so too. But it's kind of funny. If your opponent comes at you with a Sicilian, and you could play an advance French with the move e5. Now, of course, if black plays knight c6, white happily plays d2, d4, is in an advanced French, and I don't know if this is bluff or bluster, but a d5, d4 preventing white from getting the advanced French. Now, I do believe that this is associated with a pawn sacrifice, this move, d5, d4, and it has, what is it? I think it's takes and queen a4 check. There's some lines that I remember, but it's not necessary for white to go after the pawn. The normal solution for white is to play bishop d3, bishop e4. Let's see what Hans did. No, can't guess the moves.
But Hans is going to fan shadow that bishop.
d2, d3, surprise move. Knight e7, g3, you called it. But what are you going to do if I just go all out on your pawn on e5? Say knight c6.
Bishop g2.
Knight e7, knight e7, g6, pardon me. In the immortal words of Nikolai Menev, gift me your pawn.
Queen e2, maybe?
Probably. But queen e2, queen c7?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. I was really going after this pawn.
At some point, I have to give it to you, right?
Exactly.
Knight a3.
Knight a3.
I mean, I can go bishop f4, but that just simply doesn't.
That's not exactly what you had in mind when you were going in this whole advanced pawn line.
But I can be very quick with development on the other hand.
Sure.
Right, so queen e2, let's say queen c7, castle.
Exactly.
And if you're going to waste time capturing that pawn, I may have some time for my pieces to get out quickly.
Agreed.
I'm going to take on d4.
You're going to take on d4 and pause here just for a second. So I will take with the queen or the bishop.
Let's do bishop.
I was waiting for the music from Jeopardy. Ding, 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 ding. I'll take the pawn, and now I agree with you, Kate. You are going to, you're going to go knight a3. You're going to get your rook on c1. You're going to get development. You're going to get compensation. But it's not an open, it's not an advanced French that white is getting with this move d2, d3. Now, I don't actually think that this line is that good for black. I do think that after the move bishop d3, castles, followed by rook e1, you do get to keep the wedge on e5, and you will play knight a3, knight c4, and bishop e4.
And how do you plan to develop the bishop on c1? Do you want to play still d3 after the bishop moves to e4, or b3?
That, or b4, yes, correct. It's not, I mean, I'll adjust to whatever way that you play, right? I mean, if you play the position with b7, b6, I'll put the bishop out the other way. If you don't, I will go with b4. I'll try to bring the bishop to the b2 square. Anyway, interesting to keep an eye on this one. I want to just check in on Darush. That was the knight a6, a very, very unusual. of these 60-move score sheets. How mate in 19?
No, you're not coming back from this. How recoverable is this? No, it's not. No, that's not happening.
Checkmate in 19.
No, he can do a lot of things. He can go knight c5, he can go rook f8, he can even go for the b5 pawn with either the knight or the rook. I think the easiest way and the most practical choice is to just go rook a7 followed by rook a5.
Which, from your lips to Hans' ear, rook a7.
Yes.
Just get behind the pawn, freezes the pawn. Never mind the fact that I'm hanging a rook, but freezes the pawn, gets the rook behind, setting up for knight c5.
Or knight d4. For example, if you go something like rook c3,
Yeah.
and I just go knight d4, attack that pawn on b5. You go b4, I pick up the pawn on a4.
Exactly. That looks very good. No, that looks extremely clean, actually.
This is a huge
I mean, that
victory
pawn
for
on
Hans.
It is.
e5 is also running.
Yes, especially, I was thinking knight c5 and king c6, but you're absolutely right. The e-pawn, you know, knight c5, e6, and a check, and e7. Also a very, very simple way of winning.
And what is surely a
Levon-
devastating loss for Levon,
Sure.
because he's been struggling in the last year, in the last couple of years. In fact, right now he lost a lot of rating, as Wesley was pointing out as well. They haven't been having the best of years.
Right.
And this tournament is big. This tournament is of great importance for both of these players. He tried. I mean, look, he showed, I want to win today. I really want to win today. I want to
Sure.
create some imbalance. It's just not going his way. Hans played a great game.
He did. He did. Just thinking about the two players in particular who played out of their field, if you will. Levon, he's been defending e4, e5 his entire career. He played a Sicilian today. Tata has been playing e4 her entire career, wanted to prepare for a line of the King's Indian. She got her preparation. Carissa said, look, you're in my
That's it.
playground.
And we see resignation.
The
by
resignation has been completed.
And another decisive game. Wow. For the open section, we started with one win in round one, and then it was just.
Two,
but
three.
suddenly, yeah, but suddenly the floodgates today.
Oh, the
What happened
floodgates.
today, Christian? Was it the free day?
It's the day after the rest day.
Right.
Everybody's
People
coming
energized.
with renewed energy, and they're trying to bring their best foot forward, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. And everybody's ready to battle as usual.
Right.
They know that if they want to win the tournament, they need to win games, because at least one of the players always tries to run away with it. In this case, it's Fabiano, who's obviously showing great skill and great poise up to this point. But take a look at this. I mean, Hans is only half a point behind.
Remarkable.
Big win for Hans in this one.
And turning our attention to the game of Lanier and Sam Shanklin. So Lanier has been